and people's brain is rattling inside. It's thumping power, I think. Joe Joyce is similar. He's got that thumping power. And you can bamboozle people like that. I remember, obviously, when I fought Alan Babbage recently, the first 1-2, it rattled him because his legs went a bit funny. And then when I followed it up with the 8-punch combination, it was more of a rattle, and it put his legs all over the place. And that's to do with where you hit people as well. I like to try and hit people on the temple, because it rattles your brain a little bit more. As barbaric as this sounds, this is the sport we're in. And you hit someone on the temple, it frazzles the brain more than if you hit them anywhere else. Obviously, you want to hit the chin as well. That can knock people out. The nose as well is important to bludgeon that, because it will affect their breathing a little bit. And it's very graphic when you think about it. But this is the sport we're in, and they're going to try and do it to me as well.
How ethical is boxing? Because some people are still out there going, how can two men or women be beating each other like senselessly, and this is all legal, sort of thing?
We've seen in the news this week people stabbing each other to death. I remember I just saw in Southend, which is 25 minutes from us, two young men holding massive ninja swords, scimitars, just holding them and slashing people to death. And there is a lack of law and order in this country right now. And the one thing I know from a boxing gym is all people from all walks of life, all backgrounds, can walk into a gym, and there's an instant authority with the coaches and training team. And the struggle that you go through training, sparring together, it builds a camaraderie that transcends all barriers. And we need boxing back in schools, 100%, because people are always going to be drawn to violence. The nature of how human beings are. Since the dawn of time, since the ancient Greeks, people saw gladiators fighting. Boxing was one of the Olympic sports back in the day, even then. And it's about bringing that under control, regulating it, because young boys in particular, they're always going to be drawn to violence and fighting. It's the nature of how humans are built. And if we can control that in a controlled environment with a sport like boxing, which teaches respect, which teaches integrity, it humbles you because you fight people better than you, people who've got more power than you, and it teaches you respect because you know your limits and you know other people's limits. And it needs to be brought back into schools, because it brings it's ethical in that sense, because it's a lesser of two evils, in the way that, would you rather your son or your daughter on the streets, hanging on street corners with the risk of knives, or would you want them to be in an environment where they're learning to be fit, to have respect for other people and mental discipline as well? There's a lot of organisations that have been around, Box Up Crime, Gloves Up, Knives Down, and I know how I was speaking there about ways you aim for people's heads and things like that. That's if you're a professional sportsman and you're doing this for money, and you're in combat and you want to do this as a profession. But there's other things you can do. I went to university in Exeter and we done boxing classes for 400 or 500 people. We started off with about 50 members and we grew it to 500 members with the help of my friends Nicholas Eaton, who run the captaincy of the club. Great guy. And it's not just about sparring and hitting each other. It's about the fitness of it and the team spirit that you build, and getting people into fitness and sports in whatever way, whether that's boxing, whether that's netball, football, hockey. Boxing's another sport that needs to be embraced, because it's not just about contact, it's not just about sparring. It teaches good values and good respect, you know?
I mean, like, COVID really affected a lot of people just being at home, looking at four walls, or, you know, I don't know, like, you're quite present because you're still young, you're 25, but I see a lot of, like, between 20 to 25-year-olds that look quite blank and robotic.
Yeah.
Like, how are you? Yes, I'm fine. Like, it just feels like they've lost that social. Yeah,
let's have it right. Locking people up for 2 years is not healthy. It wasn't healthy, or whatever we done. I know people were dying and it was terrible, but it seems that we created a larger problem with lockdown as well. And there's things that perhaps the first lockdown was warranted. We didn't know what was going on, but there was severe social elements of life that, as you said, there's kids who've grown up who have missed out, especially like I feel sorry for them, the 17, 18-year-olds who missed out on their development years as a young adult. Yeah. My brothers are two of them. It did some bad things, you know, and people turn to alcohol, they've got nothing else to do, staring at four walls all day.
So let's go on to the next fight I want to speak about, Alvaro Terrero.
My first one at the O2.
Yeah. What's it like fighting in the O2?
It's amazing. It's my favourite one.
Yeah?
Favourite venue. It's like
I thought it was a copper box.
I like the copper box as well, but fighting at the O2, it's just the space. I know it sounds weird, but the space and how people are all on top of you, it's such a great arena. It's brilliant. And the first time I fought there at the O2, Only had 2,000. Well, I had sold 2,000 tickets. It was great. Dillian White was meant to fight Otto Wallen, but pulled out with an injury.
Yeah.
And so it was just they kept the show on because I sold a lot of tickets, and it was great. Everyone was there for me. But when you say 2,000 people and you've never fought in front of 2,000 people before, you thought it'd be one little section, but the whole bowl around the bottom was full of my supporters, and it was unbelievable to have support from people from all over the country. And that was amazing.
How is that different? In terms of walking into your local gym, your bag over your shoulder, put it down. All right, guys, how you doing? Right, go down through your circuit training, do your sparring, bosh, and then that was a good day, guys, and we'll see you tomorrow. To all of a sudden, you're all dressed up in your robe, you're in a dressing room, and you're going for that ring walk. You can see all of these, the whole curtains go dark. You see all these little lights everywhere. You see all these fans screaming. What is that experience like, Johnny?
It's a huge amount of pressure when you first do it. Now I do it and I'm used to it, but it's an unbelievable experience. It's exhilarating, but controlling that nerve and that pumped up feeling, that's the hard part. But I've done it in front of a crowd now 8 times, so you get used to it over time. But it's very hard to control your nervous energy, you know?
Because sometimes when you're so tense like that...
You're not loose, you can't be fluid, you can't throw your jab properly, you can't throw your right hands properly.
It feels like you're not even hitting them.
Everything's stiff, everything's hard to manage, and it uses your energy up quicker. So dealing with the pressure of the occasion, I've been lucky enough to be able to deal with it since my 4th and 5th fights.
How do you relax?
Watch a bit of telly, walk the dog, simple things. Do you mean in the changing rooms?
In the changing room when
music.
You're about to go out.
Music and...
What are you listening to?
A lot of country music. I know it's become popular, but I've listened to country music for a long, long time. A lot of old school music. And I've think about what the work I've put in, you know, and I couldn't have done any more. So whatever it will be is what my destiny is. So there's no stress of thinking about could I have done more, because I know every single time I do as best I can.
I know your family support you a lot. How important is it to have them around when you're
I don't have my dad in the change room or near me on the fight night.
No.
It's business, it's professional. My dad gets nervous like every dad would, my mum. Yeah. They know when we go into fight, they've done all the work before, they put loads of work in, but me, my trainers, my training team, that's all I need around me. I don't like having a big entourage around me. We're there to do a job, we get the job done and we can celebrate after.
So Terrero, would you say he was a journeyman because he's won 5 and he lost 13?
Yeah, he was a journeyman.
How do you prepare for a journeyman? Like, you know...
They're hard to break down. It's different. It's different. You have to break them down a little bit in a different way. But a lot of fighters on their way up, they could have 8, 9, 10 fights fighting journeyman, you know. But that's part of the experience. They serve an important role in boxing, bringing fighters through. And they're still tough to break down. And if you can knock your journeyman out, it's a good statement to make, you know. And they're part of the building blocks to becoming a better fighter. And don't get me wrong, it doesn't mean Terrero, he still came and had a good go, landed a few right hands on me. Yeah. He still comes and game. He wasn't one of these guys who just tucks up and tries to survive. He still comes and has a very proud man, and I'm still in contact with him today, and he's a good man.
Nice. But round 2, 1 minute, 25 seconds left, and the knockdown comes in, Tao comes in.
Yeah.
How does that feel?
Amazing, especially after selling that amount of tickets. I caught him on the temple, followed it up. It wasn't the cleanest knockout. It was like a less clean version of the Babic knockout, scuffing shots and coming through, but the power was there to be seen, and he kept getting up. I think he got up 2 or 3 times, and it was just great when the Tao came in and can celebrate afterwards.
One thing I love about you, Johnny, when I was watching your fights is you're going in, bang, 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 like you normally think someone's full of aggression and temper and they've lost it. But I see you hit somebody just as their knee was touching the floor, and you hit them, and straight away you gave him a hug and kissed his head. Like it was like, whoa, he's not in a state of like demonism sort of thing. No. He's very present.
I'm present in the moment, and it was an accident. It happens. I've seen other fighters do it. You're flying with your punches, and one comes in. But I just gave him a little acknowledge to say, look, I didn't mean that. There's no honour in hitting a man when he's on the ground, and he's a tough man, Danny Whitaker. Fought for the Central Area title, so like they call it the Central Area, but they do it in terms of Great Britain, so it's more the northern areas of England. Tough man, and as again, talk to him still to this day, and it's just in my nature to be like that. Obviously, you can switch it on and off, and that was a moment just to switch it off quickly and say, "You're okay."
Where does that control come from?
Confidence in your own ability and not having to prove anything to anyone. I know I can punch. I know I'm strong and I'm a powerful fighter. I don't have to prove anything to anyone. And it's being a sportsman and being